Ever wondered why some people just seem to attract money while others can't catch a break? Well, it has less to do with luck or background than you think. The secret to being rich isn't having a fat wallet to begin with. It's all in the mindset. It's about how you think about money, success, and, well, life in general. Rich people, they look at money and see seeds. Seeds that can be planted, grown, and then made into more seeds. They spot chances where others spot risk. They look at a failure and see a hidden lesson, not a stop sign. On the flip side, if you've always struggled with money, it can seem like something that's always slipping through your fingers, right? Every penny spent is one you're not getting back. So you guard it, you stress over it, and financial choices are made from a place of worry and lack, not strategy and opportunity. Now this exploration is about to get super interesting. In this video, we're going to dive right into the 5 startling differences between how the rich and poor or middle class navigate their financial thoughts. This video is about to challenge what we think we know, and perhaps shake up your own money thoughts a bit. And the 5th point is crucial to know if you're serious about achieving financial freedom. So without wasting any time, let's talk about it. Number 1, the money snowball. This is a simple but mighty principle that tends to separate the financial worlds of the wealthy from those who struggle with money. Money makes money, and then that money makes more money. Rich person's perspective. Rich people generally get this principle. They look at money as a buddy that can go out there and make more buddies. Instead of sticking solely to the daily grind and living paycheck to paycheck, rich people often slice off a piece of their earnings and shoot it off into the investment world. Here's where compounded interest becomes their best pal, transforming $1,000 to $10,000. That's the magic they're after. It means they can choose not to work and still live comfortably. Still, a lot of wealthy people work because they enjoy what they do, not because their bank accounts demand it. Poor person's perspective. Now, on the flip side, those who grapple with poverty tend to find themselves working for money without letting money work for them. A $1,000 to them is just $1,000. It's finite. No magic tricks here turning it into more. Life becomes this perpetual cycle of earning and spending, paycheck to paycheck, with nothing stashed away for the proverbial rainy day. The real problem is that the poor often end up spending all they've got, sometimes on stuff peddled by the rich, whether it's a necessity or not, leaving them with a big fat zero at the end of the month. And when their spending goes beyond their means, plunging them into credit card debt, that gnarly compounded interest turns against them, potentially turning $1,000 of debt into a whopping $10,000. In his book, Why A Students Work for C Students and B Students Work for the Government, Robert Kiyosaki states, "You cannot teach a poor person to be rich until they change their context. Teaching a person with poor or middle-class person's context is a waste of time, and it does annoy them. It's one of my favorite books on learning the mindset of the rich. You can check it out in the description box below." Number 2, shopping sprees. Moving forward, there's something subtly different about how wealthy people splash their cash compared to those who are financially strapped, especially when we look at essential and impulse spending. How rich people view shopping sprees. Rich people tend to stick to the script when it comes to shopping. Buy what you need, skip what you don't. Imagine a wealthy individual zipping into the grocery store just because they ran out of milk. They grab that milk and beeline to the checkout. No extra snacks, no sudden sweets cravings and gadgets. A rich person might hang on to that trusty phone until its last digital breath. Trends don't faze them. It's not about having the latest tech or being on trend. It's about watching that net worth grow. How poor people view shopping sprees. Conversely, for those not so flush with cash, shopping can be a mix of needs, wants, and a dash of retail therapy. Picture someone on a tight budget wandering into the grocery store for milk but emerging with a bag of extra goodies. Ah, the allure of the new. That latest phone model just might find its way into their shopping cart, even if the old one still works just fine. The latest trends and looking the part can often outweigh the rationality of saving and net worth building. This is where the pathways of spending diverge between the rich and the poor. It's a matter of sticking strictly to needs versus blending desires into the shopping list. But what might happen if the lines between need and want get redefined for both sides? That's a thought worth thinking. Number 3. Navigating goals. This dichotomy between future planning and immediate survival paints a stark picture of how varied financial strategies can be across different economic levels. Future goals shape or misshape the financial journeys of the rich as well as the poor. How the rich view goals. For the rich, it's all about the long game. Even though we're swimming in a sea of "I want it now" culture, rich individuals tend to sail smoothly by, with their eyes firmly fixed on distant financial shores. The rich have a visual roadmap, detailing how every financial step today brings them closer to their dreams, with real-time feedback that keeps their spending in check. How the poor view goals. On the other hand, for those struggling financially, the concept of goal setting, especially long-term, may feel like a luxury. Living from one paycheck to the next leaves little room to dream about financial futures when the present is fraught with monetary challenges. Imagine facing a sudden crisis like being laid off during a pandemic. For someone with no safety net, such an event isn't just a setback, it's a plunge into a financial abyss, where every day becomes a battle against multiplying difficulties. By the way, if you're finding this video valuable, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button, as it really helps the channel. Thanks. Number 4. Risk-taking. Next, it's fascinating to observe how people based on their financial standing dance differently with risk. The calculated gambles of the rich. Picture a wealthy individual, comfortably cushioned with a variety of assets. Risk for them isn't a dark alley. It's a path potentially paved with more prosperity. Given an opportunity, say investing in a promising startup, the rich are likely to weigh up the pros and cons, calculating the potential upheaval versus the lucrative outcomes. If the scales tip favorably, they'll plunge in, seeing it as a vessel sailing towards increased wealth. The cautious steps of the poor. Now envision someone for whom every penny is precious and financial stability is a daily struggle. For them, risk doesn't come with potential. It looms with possible loss. Presented with that same startup investment opportunity, they might not see a chance to multiply wealth, but a threat, endangering their already limited disposable income. In this contrast, isn't it fascinating how two people can perceive the same opportunity so divergently? For one, it's a chance to climb higher on the wealth ladder, while for the other, it's a potential slip into deeper financial strife. The rich may see a field ripe for sowing, while the poor might see the potential for a barren season ahead. Number 5. Learning paths. Embarking on a journey through attitudes towards learning, we find that perhaps the currency of knowledge is where the rich and poor sharply diverge. Education and an unquenchable thirst for learning might just be the secret ingredient in the wealth-making recipe. The rich are in pursuit of learning. Imagine this, a millionaire not by birthright, but sculpted through continuous learning, perpetually amplifying their wealth-building acumen. For the rich, the most profitable investment often isn't tangible assets, but embedding themselves in the sanctuary of education. This unwavering commitment to understand the world, to perpetually connect novel dots, paves their path to accumulating more wealth. There's a humble recognition among the rich that they don't possess all the answers. They're not daunted to seek advice, embracing the belief that everyone, regardless of status, has something valuable to teach them. It's also likely they're not going back to school for advanced degrees, but attending seminars and joining masterminds run by high performers in their chosen fields. The poor stance on learning. On the other hand, the relationship the poor have with learning may wade in shallower waters. Often entwined with a desire for instant gratification and a cautious regard for external perceptions, their engagement with learning sometimes wilts. Faced with opposing perspectives, the gates of curiosity may swing shut, shrouding them in a comfort zone where being challenged becomes an unwelcome visitor. The dream of affluence for them may seem distant and unattainable. Perhaps the narrative unfolds that the rich are either born into opulence, are malevolent, or exploit others. The possibility that wealth could be within reach, shaped by their own choices and a rekindled zest for learning, might be an unread chapter. They would rather go to university and spend money on another degree than a paid professional in their field to take them to the next level. If you enjoyed this video, why not check out this video next to hear the uncomfortable truths about saving money? Remember, money doesn't buy happiness, it buys freedom.